Okay.
Okay, welcome. This is Kay Cooney, and I am sitting here with Erica, and we are going to show you guys what it looks like when you do a Zyto report, a Zyto scan. So, what you do, so this is the part behind the scenes that you guys haven't seen yet. So, when Erica got here a couple minutes early, we have her place her hand on this little thing that looks like a mouse cradle, and it takes about 5 minutes or so. And essentially, what's going on is the machine is pinging out about 200 different questions, and it's asking the body to respond to the pings. And the electrical current that happens when the body gets asked a question and answers is what gets picked up. It's pretty amazing as to what happens when it collects all this information. So, from that 5 minute of putting her hand on it, there's 13 pages of information that got collected. So I'm just going to open this up. Lorraine, can you see this on large screen now?
No, it's a small screen still.
Okay.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
Oh, I think there's a little delay from when I do it to you see it.
There you go. I'm good.
All righty. Perfect. Thank you. You're like our co-pilot tonight. So what happens is, so Erica does this, and this is what her report looks like. And it gets lumped into a basic immunity report that talks about gut health, emotions, kidney and detox, lungs, sleep, immune system. So this is the very first page. Okay. This is so cool. So when we take a look at this, what this tells me is that Erica's gastrointestinal GI system is off, and there's some emotional stressors that are putting her over the deep end.
Apparently a little bit.
Just a little bit. So it looks like immune system's okay, lymphatic system's okay, respiratory system, and this is funny, we'll go back to respiratory. There's a reason why respiratory is off, and we've already seen it. So we'll go back to that. Emotional stress and sleep. So we're going to tackle her gut and the emotions right now. Now, one of the things, I'm an advanced practice nurse, and have been for almost 20, 30 years right now. And one of the things that I've learned that I did not know before was that certain emotions stay in certain organ systems. So when I'm looking here and I'm seeing on emotional stress being so off the chart, when I see the stomach, I go, okay, good. There's some good worrying going on there. There's some fear. There's a little bit of anxiety. And then when I see lung showing up as a 0, that's usually grief, that there's been a loss of some kind. And if you have questions as we're going, Lorraine, you just shout them out, sister.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to shrink this down so we can see this. So we're going to start with the GI system. Any organ system that the divine has put in her body that is that many feet long really should have required far more attention than they gave it when I was in nursing school. So your gut is your immune system. It is also a litmus test of where you're at from a nutritional perspective, and hides a whole ton of emotions. When we take a look at this, food stressor additives. So I had said to Erica, because you can't pull anything over on this machine. It's like its own little private eye. Food stressor additives means that you've eaten something that was processed in a package. And I said to her, any cakes, any candy bars? And she's like, would 2 Oreos do it? I'm like, hell yeah.
Maybe I had some Oreos this afternoon.
Maybe Oreos would do it. What else sets the stomach off? Emotional stressors. Then here's a really nice clue: probiotic bacteria. So we have a pretty amazing probiotic called Life9. Almost all of us need a probiotic. So if you are, unless you are eating fruits, vegetables, no grains, you grew it in your backyard, you killed your own chickens, most of us need a probiotic these days. And what it does is it keeps the body balanced. It helps make enough of the hormones that you need to sleep, to have energy. And what's interesting, when you don't have probiotics, or when you don't have enough probiotics and your body's out of balance, there's also mood issues. more stress, more anxiety, more depression. So nobody in their right mind should be starting an antidepressant unless they've done at least 6 to 8 weeks of a probiotic. So probiotic, how do you do a probiotic? On an empty stomach, once a day, with nothing else on it. Hold on, let's make sure nobody's.
Is that someone doing it?
It could be.
Oh, there's Debbie.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Hello, Deb.
She's probably
I lost me.
Who lost you?
Lost me. There we are. Thank
Okay.
you. I went to tell Debbie I could see her, and then I couldn't figure out how to get back.
So we're looking at gut first. Then here's another thing. So if you look at glyphosate, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down. Glyphosate is a pesticide. It's actually an antibiotic used by farmers, and it is sprayed on just about all crops.
So the strawberries could qualify for that too.
Strawberries could.
Okay.
So strawberries, so fresh fruits or vegetables, but usually washing will take it down enough. But one of the things that we start to see during the summer months is glyphosate, because people have lawn services. So that was one of our, yes, they have True Green, which means every time you're walking in the grass, you're picking that up through your skin. Fungi and molds can be from folks that eat a lot of peanut butter, drink coffee, live in an older home. Those would be the things that it would pick up. When I see intestinal mucosis membrane often inflamed, that is usually because of the probiotic. So the gut's out of balance. So it's a great time to start reining your diet back in. So it was completely permissible during this time of quarantine for all of us to eat everything in sight with the hopes of trying to help our mental health and not hurt other humans.
Yep.
Now we got to now we're going to rein it back in. Okay. Aromases, we were talking about that being frustration with inconsistencies. So watch how this kind of unfolds now. So this is pretty neat. And I don't ask the person what their health issues and concerns are beforehand. I like to let them play out. Okay. So we're going to ignore spleen for right now. But what we're seeing down here is Australian blue. And what my comment to Erica is, has there been a recent loss or a recent death? And unfortunately,
I had someone pass away that I know yesterday.
yes. And so the grief and the grieving is on the brain, and that's what's popping up there. Okay, then we come over here to the lymphatic system, kidneys, all that good stuff, the how we clean ourselves out. I was not aware, but she has PCOS, which then indicates why she's not clearing as nicely as we would want her. Probiotics kick in again, and then interestingly or not, or expectedly, juniper is the kidney clearing, kidney strengthening oil. We have had a product, K&B, that I've used because I'm a diabetic, so I get leaking through my kidneys and filtering system. When I'm on K&B, the amount of urine that I make and the frequency of the bathroom is like a third.
Interesting.
And I went from testing stage 3 renal failure to complete normal with K&B.
That's awesome.
I love K&B. What's in K&B? Juniper. So get on the juniper.
Yep.
How can you do it? You can rub that on your kidneys. You could do what they call a poultice on them, or you may choose to make the decision to put them in a veggie cap.
Okay.
There are people who choose to ingest non-vitality, and
yeah, I'm one of them.
and we don't usually talk about that. Okay. Now, here's an interesting thing. So when the lungs showed up as 0, my first thought was, where does grief reside? It resides in the lungs. So what's going on there? So the emotion came up of annoyed and maybe a spouse was a little annoying today or not, who knows, right?
Possibly.
So I think that's what we're seeing there, is we're seeing a little bit of grief. and a little bit of aggravation. Aromases, again, inconsistency. So everybody's emotional profile right now while we're doing these during quarantine is, well, we're going to see, looks like this. So
Looks scary.
so can you guys see this? Okay, emotional stressors. So what came up from this vicious woman was hate, hopeless, resentful, blame, frustration, complacency. Now, here's a whole bunch of interesting things. Complacency shows up when there's a change or a desire for change in the workplace. You had a change that
Yep.
a non-anticipated, non-hoped for
Yep.
employment change.
Yep.
Blame, resentful, hopeless, hate. How's your corona? Right?
Yep.
You were talking about not knowing what's what for your daughter.
Yep. She's don't know if she's going to school in the fall. Don't know what the school's going to look like in the fall.
Yep. This whole hopeless, what's interesting, I've never seen hopeless come up so much as I have in the last like 6 to 8 weeks. People feel out of control, very much so. So that would explain some of that stuff. And when our emotions are not imbalanced, illness will kick in. So in this case, what we're still seeing for her is that aromases, Australian blue, and juniper.
Yep.
Right? Over and over and over.
So I know what I'm adding to my order this month.
Exactly. Then what this does is this gives me the overall. Now this is fascinating. So now this is more the doctor side of it. Okay. So look up, your heart's good. Okay. The hate's like, okay, you got to fix your hate, gallbladder, but look at your kidneys. Now, again, not having no knowledge beforehand that you had PCOS, it picks up that there's some stress there. So you're carrying some of your stress dietary wise and emotion wise in that area. And spleen. I gotta look up what emotion resides in spleen. All right, while I'm doing that, do you guys have any questions? Do we lose them?
Are you there?
I'm here.
Deb?
Hello?
Deb and Caitlin are both muted.
Oh, hey.
Oh, okay.
I'm here.
Okay.
Yes,
Any
you are.
questions?
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh. Not uh-oh.
So what's the emotion in the spleen that it's way off like that? Worry.
Worry.
Yeah, it's about worry. What emotions affects what organs? Worry. Worry is that.
Lots of worry.
Yes.
Worries what's happened with the job. What's happened with Miss Madison.
Yes.
Worry, worry,
Hello?
worry.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can
Yep.
anybody
I can hear
me?
you, Deb.
Okay, just checking.
We don't wanna,
Okay.
but we can.
I'm gonna shut up again.
I would pay extra for that. Come on.
Okay, here we go. Bye-bye.
All right. Does anyone have questions about what's on the scan? So there's a bunch of different ways that we can do things with that particular scan now. We can look and see what it recommended. We can look and see what organs. We can sort of cross-fix that with what is going on. So if I was doing that scan with Erica, which I am, what I would say to her now is, okay, one, I would get on a probiotic. I'd grab Life9. Right? Get that on your Essential Rewards, grab your Life9, take it once a day on an empty stomach, either first thing in the morning or last thing at night. Plan that you're probably going to need that for 6 to 8 weeks to repair. Start cleaning up the carbs out of the diet again, because that will help with the PCOS, and it will also help balance out the body. And then for short term, for dealing with the loss and the death of somebody, Australian blue is a good oil to have. But let's say you didn't have that and you didn't want to wait. Bergamot, orange, frankincense, all real good ones for grief. And juniper. Juniper for the PCOS. You were saying you had also ordered Prenolone?
Progression Plus.
Progression Plus. to tackle that.
Yep.
So that's what you can expect when you do a Zyto. So it takes about 5 minutes to do it. Then it takes us about maybe 30 minutes or so, depending on how complex or what's going on. And then we can sit and sort of brainstorm with you what products make sense. What I don't like to do with the Zyto is take all of its recommendations. I don't think that makes sense. I think if you can walk away with 1 or 2 things that you can do a little bit better for 30 days, then rescan, I find
Yeah.
that it just makes more sense, right? Perfectly imperfect,
Baby steps.
big time. All right, any questions?
I don't have any.
Okay. I'm going to save this in case Erica wants to show it to other folks on what to do and what to expect with the Zyto. And thanks, you guys, for dropping in. That was fast and furious and easy.
Thank you.
How come hers was so easy?
Well, you're her mom, so you must have done something really good with her.
I wish
Okay.
I was there sitting in your backyard.
Oh, my God, Deb, when Deb does hers, Deb's are like 50 pages long.
Mm-hmm.
I have to make her put down the cigar and the
And that's
Bourbon.
bourbon.
That's just the mental problems.
That's just the mental page. Exactly.
Okay, gonna go get Hub's dinner.
All right,
Okay.
guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.